Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gentlemen's Club Whiskey. I am your host with the most, Mr. Mark Antimate, the pontiff of Japanese whiskey and your Tokyo godfather here. Although today I am reviewing a Scotch whiskey, just to let you guys know. Let's go ahead and delve into this one. Been holding on to this for the longest. In fact, the bottom of the box actually got a little bit water damage. Thankfully, I was sitting down when it happened. I forgot how it happened. It was 4 years ago. I just remembered that it got water damaged at the bottom. And this bottle just went whoop. It just went coming out of the bottom of the box and the bottom just busted open. You see, I have it closed right now, but I would never dare to put this back inside of this box again because it's just going to fall out again. Anyways, quick story. That's neither here nor there. All right. But I want to show you guys the box. It is a pretty beautiful box. You know, it looks like a standard Johnnie Walker Black Label box, but it has this limited edition seal or foil here that says limited edition on like this on this purple foil that's like very shiny type color here, and you have a purple banner going across it, and you know it says limited edition and everything is in purple and it's shiny. It looks nice. Let me put that up there for this camera. Hopefully it'll show up on that camera down there. Let's see. Just move that around a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. So, this one, you know, this is before the Queen bit the big one. It says, by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen, Scotch Whisky Distillers, John Walker and Sons Limited, London. The tasting notes on this. By the way, this is aged 12 years, as if you guys don't already know, if you can't read that. It says the tasting notes, prominent notes of orchard fruit like cut green apple, cask aged for a touch of sweetness with a smooth and vibrant finish. All right, so I was getting ready to make a speculation inside of this video, but I guess I don't really need to make that anymore. So the speculation was that I was going to make, I was going to say that this is 12 years aged inside of a cask, just like the regular Black Label is. But I was going to say that I believe that it has been finished for, I don't know, X amount of time inside of another cask to give it a little bit of an additional flavor so that they can, you know, label it something else and on the bottle and call it something else other than just Black Label, you know, give it a special name to it. But it says right here on the tasting notes that it has been cask aged for a touch of sweetness with a smooth and vibrant finish. All right. And if I didn't mention it before, no, I didn't. There is 4 whiskeys inside of this limited edition series. Now this one is the Speyside. They also have the Islay, the Highlands, and the Lowlands expressions that have also been aged for 12 years in line with the Johnnie Walker Black Label, but each one has a distinctive and different taste to it depending on the region. So obviously this one right here is the Speyside. The Speyside one specializes in an orchard fruit type flavor to it. The Lowlands specializes in vanilla. The Islay specializes in smoke. And the Highlands specializes in rich fruit. Unfortunately, I waited so long that I don't believe that I can really find the other 3 whiskeys that are inside of this line, so I'm only going to do a review over this one. But it would be nice if I could review those other 3 as well to tell you by comparison if there's going to be a big differentiator, if there's going to be a big difference between the 4, or if they're more or less the same with just minute differences. But who knows? Who knows? But today is the Speyside. This comes inside of a 700 milliliter size bottling, and this one comes in at 42% alcohol by volume. Let's read the back of the box here. just to tell you about this one. It says, introducing a series of Scotch whiskies from the 4 leading whiskey distilling regions of Scotland. Each regional edition highlights one of the signature notes of Johnnie Walker Black Label: vanilla, orchard fruit, rich fruit, and smoke. Experience the distinctive flavors from the 4 corners of Scotland. This chapter, meaning this one right here, is crafted exclusively from a variety of quality single malts from the Speyside region, with Cardhu and Glendullan at its heart. With prominent notes of orchard fruit like cut green apple, this whiskey is aged for 12 years in refilled oak cask and a selection of first fill bourbon cask, which add a touch of sweetness and vanilla. The finish is smooth and vibrant, making this beautifully balanced whiskey easy to share and enjoy. Well, that's the way that I like them. I like them easy to digest. And the ones that tend to be easy to digest are the ones that you could share with friends, especially your friend. Oh my God, Siri, you scared the bejesus out of me. Oh, would you shut up? Oh man, I'm sorry about that scare there. Let me go ahead and put this MacBook on mute. I don't know why Siri just started talking to me out of the blue. But, you know, I've already conducted some whiskey reviews right before I started shooting this video. So I'm easy to spook. And this thing just started speaking to me like off the cuff. Like, bitch, are you crazy? Oh, man. Oh, woo. That was scary. Broke my concentration on what I was getting ready to say. Damn it, she ruined what I was getting ready to say. Thanks a lot for breaking my concentration. Let's go ahead and have this pour, because what I like to do is I like to have my whiskey sit for a minimum of 5 minutes, because you like it to aerate just like wine, and that's how you get the best flavor out of it. So we're going to pour just a small pour, because I've already been drinking. I just need enough just to conduct a review with. Put that inside of there. And I got another glass with just water inside of there. Let's get our pipette out. And we're just going to open this up with just a little bit of water. Dump that inside of there like such. All right. We got that all set for display purposes. Now, before I was rudely interrupted by Siri, let me see what it was that I was trying to say. I was trying to say something about friends there. Okay. The thing that I was going to say about friends, I like the whiskey to be smooth, beautifully balanced, and easy to share, because those tend to be the whiskeys that you could share with your friends that are not really into tune with whiskey, or not really acclimated, or, you know, have a tongue that is accustomed to whiskey. They could tolerate the smoother ones, but the moment that you give these type of friends something that is very peated or heavily peated, or something that's really strong and intense, it might turn them off from whiskey for life, which you don't want to do. You want to try to get them accustomed to it very slowly and wean them into tasting whiskey so that they can enjoy it, and then they can move on up to stronger things. So there's that. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Siri, for interrupting me. I wanted to punch my computer right in the face if it didn't cost too much money, but okay. All right, so we got our whiskey inside of the glass. Let's go ahead and just swish it around just a little bit there. Blow those fumes off. We're going to let it sit just a little bit longer, because that's only been about a good 2.5 minutes. Now, I'm looking at an independent site here that's talking about this Johnnie Walker. I want to see if they did any tastings themselves to see what they had to say about this. All right, it says the Islay Origin expression uses 100% refill cask to avoid too much woodiness. Okay. And the Highlands Origin expression features a ex-European oak and ex-sherry cask. But this is not the Highlands version. This is the Speyside one. Do they have any notes about the Speyside expression? All right, I'm looking. Yeah, this is not from Diageo themselves. This is from an independent site that I'm looking at. And they don't have too much about the Speyside flavor here, so I'm just going to have to figure this out on my own. Okay. All right. And it says some of these have been rolled out globally in 2020, but it says that it initially released retail July 2019 in global travel retail. I don't know what global travel retail means. Maybe that means airport duty free. And then maybe in the following year in 2020, in October, then it had a worldwide rollout inside of different places like whiskey shops around the world, supermarkets, things like that. But I'm glad I got it when I did. Who knows how good this is going to be. Inside of this video, let me tell you what not to expect. I haven't had the Black Label in about a good 2 months now, so that's not fresh off the brain and off my mind. So I can't give you a comparison on whether this is better than that or not. But just look for a subsequent video that will be an update to this one to come out later. And maybe I'll do a back-to-back review with this Black Label Speyside limited edition and the standard line Black Label. And I'll do a comparison and tell you guys which one I think is better. So anyways, I think I've talked long enough, and I think that's been about a good 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and have a little tasting of this off camera, and I will let you guys know what I think about this. So let me just go ahead and smell this just a little bit. First of all, this is very sweet and vanillic. Is that what they say on the back of the box for this one in particular? This is what I say about it, but is it what they say about it? All right. All right, that's not what they necessarily say about it. But there is that orchard fruit here that they mentioned about before. It's not really rich in fruits, but there is that orchard fruit. And there is also apple on this one. Whether you call it green apple, I guess it's green apple, I don't know. But it is an apple nosing there. All right, so it's fruity to an extent. It's fruity to an extent. Let's see if the taste is going to end up being more or less the same. Just a little bit spicy, but not too intense for 42% ABV. And on the tongue, it's very flavorful inside of the fruit realm. On the finish, it's not oily feeling, but it has an oil, buttery-like aftertaste to it, which is quite nice. Let's go ahead and put this back on the tongue just one more time to try to experience this. Trying to conduct these reviews after already drinking a little bit earlier today. It's making it kind of hard for me, but we're gonna muscle through this. All right, so a little bit intense and a little bit fruity. So intense for 42%, which is quite light inside of the risky realm of alcohol by volume. But it's intense just in the fact that it has that kind of spice flavor to it. It's kind of like a peppery type of spice to it. Not anything that's hot, but yeah, just like a light peppery type taste to it. Very smooth. It goes down nice and easy. The aftertaste is very good. A little bit of chocolate inside of there. Very minute chocolate, but most of all, it just has that buttery flavor to it. Not so much a buttery texture, but a buttery flavor. All in all, this is a pretty good one. I'm going to give it my go ahead. If you can still find this on a store shelf somewhere, it's limited edition, but this is what I noticed living inside of Japan. Okay, this is Japan. This is not anywhere else inside of the world. Sometimes limited edition bottlings such as this come out on store shelves, and things like this will tend to stay on the store shelf until they are all sold out. So if a lot of people are not going out there and buying this limited edition, which I don't know why they wouldn't, because it came in at such a cheap price. Again, I don't have the receipt on me anymore, but this was not too much more than the standard edition Black Label. So what I wanted to say is that when you get a limited edition like this, no, when they're selling these things retail at the supermarket, which I believe I bought this at a supermarket. I probably bought it at an Aeon Mall at a big city here in Chiba, Japan, called Makuhari, where this might still be sitting on the shelf. This is the kind of thing, like I was saying, they would keep it on the shelf until they're all sold out, and then it's done. But, if nobody's buying it, it's just going to sit there until somebody eventually gets it. So you still might have a small window of opportunity to be able to get this. Search around on the internet. Unlike inside the United States, inside of Japan is the type of place that you can buy whiskey on the internet. If somebody buys a sealed bottle of whiskey and they don't open it, I'm talking about an individual seller. They might be selling this on a website like Rakuten Japan, which is like the Japanese equivalent of eBay, or maybe on Amazon Japan. Now, Japan is different laws than the EU and the United States. Inside of the United States, as an individual, you are technically, I know a lot of people are doing it illegally, but you are technically, by law, not allowed to sell peer-to-peer, person-to-person whiskey because you don't have a license to sell whiskey and to mail it across from state to state or intra-state or whatever like that. But inside of intra-Japan, you're allowed to buy a whiskey and you're allowed to resell it. So inside of Japan, as long as this is still available, you could probably just find this on Rakuten and still be able to order this inside of 2023. Here I am dating the video. They say never say the date, but I'm doing it anyways. So, it's probably still floating around out there, depending on where you are inside the world. Try to see if you can find one for yourself. Is it something that you really need to go hunting for? Is this so much better than the Black Label that you need to go breaking your back looking for this thing? I would say no. Not that I have a big recollection over the last 2 months of how the Black Label tasted. I mean, Black Label is all right. It's all right. It's not the best tasting whiskey in the world. If I'm just going based off memory, which could be completely wrong, this might be a little bit better tasting than the standard Black Label, but it's not going to be too much better than that. So, all in all, I would say that this is a pretty good one. If you can find it, get it just to say that you had it, to try it. It's limited edition. I mean, what can you do? Just try it. But, don't go out of your way to look for something like this. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Let's go ahead and have our final sip, and we're going to call it a day. I had this video running long enough. I tend to find Speyside whiskeys a little bit sweet. This is not the case for all Speyside whiskeys, but just in general, I tend to find them a little bit sweet. Yeah, this one is sweet to an extent. Fruits are kind of sweet to an extent. I mean, it's not like candied sweet, but nonetheless, it is still a sweet flavor. Let me go ahead and take a look at the back of this box one more time and see if I agree with their tasting notes about it. Where is their tasting notes? The tasting notes are on the front. It says prominent notes of orchard fruit. That's in there. Cut green apple. That's definitely in there. Cask aged for a touch of sweetness. That's in there. Okay. With a smooth and vibrant finish. All right. I would say that whoever written the tasting notes, the official tasting notes for this, they did a spot on job for this. Nothing is too out of the ordinary here. That's exactly how it is. And there is some other notes on the back of this real quick before I go ahead and close out this video. On the back of the box, it says that the two main distilleries that this one came from. Let me rinse my palate out before I start getting the hiccups. It says that this comes from the Cardhu distillery. Cardhu was first run by two generations of enterprising women, Helen Cumming and her daughter-in-law Elizabeth, who sold the distillery to John Walker and Sons in 1893. So that was over 130 years ago. And it also comes from the Glendullan distillery. Dufftown, home of the Glendullan distillery, was one of the first places in Scotland to enjoy the benefits of the water of life in AD 566. All right, so two very, very old distilleries here. Let me see if I can show this on the back of the box. I hope that shows up. I'm just going to hold this here temporarily for you guys to take a look at. All right. All in all, that's a pretty good whiskey. Pretty good whiskey. Now, what am I going to do with the rest of this bottle? Probably share it with friends, but yeah, I got too much whiskey on my hand to manage through. I still got the Johnnie Walker Green Label to go through, and I also have maybe two other Johnnie Walker limited editions. I have one from the Game of Thrones series. Maybe it's called the Ice Walker. I don't know. I would have to go inside of my next room and take a look at all my inventory, what I have inside of there. But I think I have at least minimum two more Johnnie Walkers that I have to review. Possibly three more. And then that might be it. And then I'm going to have to buy some more to start conducting the reviews over the more higher end stuff. Like the Platinum label, the Gold label, and the Blue label. All right, I'm a rambling drunk here. That has been my review over the Johnnie Walker Black Label Speyside Origins blended Scotch whiskey. All in all, it has been a pretty good one. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching this review over this whiskey. Salute to you wherever you may be out inside the world. If you guys are drinking, make sure that you drink responsibly. And as always, gentlemen, you guys know what to do. Keep it classy. I'm out.